In this week's AMT John Deere Fresh Produce Market Overview, we look at the latest price movements on the fruit and vegetable market and discuss why onion prices can decrease while potato prices can potentially increase over the next 6 weeks. All in this week's episode, so make sure to stay tuned. Welcome to this week's AMT John Deere Fruit and Veg Overview, proudly made possible by John Deere, Fieldnet, Pivot Watch and the International Fresh Produce Association. Join us at this year's International Fresh Produce Association's Southern African Conference from August 5th to 6th at the Century City Conference Centre in Cape Town for the premier event in the fresh produce industry. An opportunity not to be missed. But with that, let's jump straight into the latest news on the markets. In the latest economic news, data showed that top consumer China's economy grew less than expected in the second quarter amid a persistent property downturn, weak domestic demand and rising trade tensions with the West. This, coupled with a stronger US dollar over the weekend, resulted in the latest Brent oil price to decrease and is currently trading on $85.11 per barrel. The rand, however, remained relatively sideways and is currently trading on R18.08 per US dollar. The Reserve Bank is expected to maintain the interest rate for the 7th consecutive meeting on July 18th, with some forecasting 25 basis point cuts in both September and November, while others predict the first reduction will only occur in November. Personally, I am leaning towards the latter, only expecting a lower interest rates towards the end of this year. The past week, the average national potato price increased by 1% to R58.51 per 10 kg, with volumes 20% lower week on week. The large potato price traded on 66, mediums on 57 and smalls on R41 per 10 kg. Mondials traded higher on 59, Cifras lower on 61 and Lenormand on 54, with the average price on Joburg on R58 per 10 kg last week. As mentioned last week, we experienced some of the worst frost in Limpopo ever, which will have a severe impact on especially the potato crop over the next 2 months. Currently, it looks like the impact on production and deliveries to the markets will mostly be felt at the start of September, with prices that can soar over this period. I also think that because the frost was so severe that we can expect prices to potentially reach record levels and move closer or even above the R120 per 10 kg mark during this period, with market agents also expecting more small potatoes and less large and extra large potatoes over this period. The tomato price increased by 8% over the past week to R9.24 per kilogram, with volumes increasing by about 30%. Large tomatoes traded on R9.76, mediums on R9.26, while smalls increased to R7.74. There were also some reports of frost damage which could support prices over the short term, but I don't think we will see major increases, with the reported damage not so severe when compared to the potato market. The average carrot price increased to R3.97 per kilogram, while the large carrots traded on R4.15, mediums on R3.43 and smalls on R4.18. Higher volumes expected from now until October will most likely keep this market under pressure over this period, while higher demand towards the end of this month can potentially result in slightly better prices again. The average onion price decreased to R82.51 per 10 kg, with brown onion prices still on R81, red onions increasing to R208, while white onion prices decreased to R81 per 10 kg. The average large onion price traded on 78, mediums on 88 and smalls lower on R67 per 10 kg. We're still expecting this price to continue in this downward trend from here on out, as more volumes will continue to put pressure on this market over the next 2 to 3 months. The average pepper price decreased to R14.25 per kilogram, while green pepper prices decreased to R15.44. Yellow peppers decreased to R11.96, while red peppers traded lower on R10.80 per kilogram. I think that this price will continue to increase over the next month, with the frost in Limpopo that can have an additional upward effect on prices soon. Join the excitement around Fieldnet Pivot Watch. Experience unmatched monitoring of any pivot, anytime, anywhere, offering complete peace of mind on your farm. Fieldnet Pivot Watch is not only cost effective but also time saving. Ready to transform your irrigation? Contact your nearest Zimmatic dealer for a quote on Fieldnet Pivot Watch now. Looking at other market prices, we saw cabbage prices increasing to R3.44, while garlic prices soared again, trading on R120 per kilogram. Spinach prices increased to R4.42, while sweet potato prices increased by 28% to R6.02 per kilogram. The latest pumpkin price, however, decreased to R2.76 per kilogram last week. Over in the fruit markets, the banana price increased to R7.35 per kilogram, which is about R132 per 18 kilogram box, with volumes decreasing by 19% week on week. We are, however, expecting prices to stay on this lower level during July and possibly gain some momentum from August onwards again. The latest apple price increased to R8.68 last week, while the latest pear price continued in its upward trend and increasing by almost 2% to R9.76 per kilogram. I think that apple prices can trend mostly sideways, as mentioned last week as well, while the average pear price can remain in its upward trend for now. Very interesting is that the orange price increased by 21% to R5.34 the past week, with volumes on the local markets decreasing by about 33% week on week. Any real upward momentum in this industry will only start from September onwards, when we see a reduction in volumes. The avo price increased by 5% to R15.15 per kilogram last week, while Fieldnet traded higher on R19.07, Haas on R11.30, while Pinkertons increased to R15.22. We're expecting more volumes at least until September, which could keep these prices around current levels. From October onwards, however, prices might start to increase again. The average table grape price decreased by more than 50% over the past week, trading on R53.47, with volumes increasing by more than 70% week on week. During July, it's likely that this price can stay on a higher level, but we usually see a slight dip during August. The latest pineapple price stayed sideways on R8.19. Lemons, however, decreased to R4.18, while the average blueberry price traded lower on R118 per kilogram. Enhance your fresh produce industry knowledge at the International Fresh Produce Association's Southern African Conference. Join us from August 5th to 6th at the Century City Conference Centre in Cape Town for the premier event in the fresh produce industry. This year's conference is meticulously designed to provide delegates with the latest insights on issues affecting their bottom line and future growth. Whether you're a seasoned professional or new to the industry, this conference is an opportunity you can't afford to miss. Secure your spot today and be part of shaping the future of the fresh produce sector in Southern Africa. This video is made possible by John Deere, Fieldnet Pivot Watch, and the International Fresh Produce Association. Visit our website at amtrends.co.za for more detailed reports, prices, and videos. I'm Dr. Johnny van der Merwe, and thank you for watching.